And a very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes. My name is Jeff Owens, Interim Manager at WEIU. My co-host is Alicia Haynes.
Hello, everyone.
And our guest, Mr. Dan Cruz.
Jeff, Alicia, how are you?
We're good on this. It's kind of a frigid Monday on the day if you're going to watch this live, but it records on all of our different channels this week. So let's talk a little bit about Doudna Fine Arts Center and what we can expect this semester. So far, what have we seen so far? I know Farewell Angelina was last week, and it seemed like all the responses was absolutely great last week.
Well, it might be cold outside, but things are really heating up inside Doudna. Farewell Angelina was a really, really good show. That was kind of one of those things to where things fall in your lap, and we have the opportunity to present them. And this is a really up-and-coming group out of Nashville, and I guess you'd label them country, but they were really singer-songwriter, just
American roots folk.
They were it was disgusting because they were so talented. Everything from multi-instrumentalist and brilliant harmonies. And here's the thing. I think that the people who saw them at the Doudna last week, I know we don't want to talk about things in the past. However, I'm just trying to say that the Doudna is where you will see up-and-coming artists, and it will not be a surprise to me that a few years down the road that they will be a main Nashville commodity that people will know about.
And you can always say we saw them first at the Doudna.
Absolutely. That's what I'm thinking.
And that's happened a lot when you think around in Central Illinois for some of the acts.
I mean, the young guy from Paris, Illinois, Brett Eldridge, who would have thunk? You know what I mean? Yep. And he's big-time country.
Zach Brown Band came to Bagel Fest, and people were like, "Who this?" And that song hit, and then so it's been kind of cool how some of these things happen like that. Now let's look forward. We won't look back to what people can expect. I know there's a lot of great stuff going on down to this semester, so I'll just kind of let you throw some names out. We'll talk about them and kind of go where we want to go. That's all right with you, Alicia, as well.
Yeah, that works.
We have three types of programming that we present at the Doudna. Number one is our premier shows. Then we have an entire just a variety of activities that's coming from the music department and also from the theater department. So it's a very busy place. I would say in a given year, we probably present anywhere from 90 to 120 performances, and that's not including the student recitals that begin in late August and continue on through the end of April. But we have a very busy spring, and a week from this Friday, we kick off the 60th. I said the 60th EIU Jazz Festival. We open that festival, which takes place all day long on Saturday, but that Friday night, we kick off the festival with a concert featuring usually a name commodity, but this year we're looking at our past and also what our past has done. When the festival kicked off, I'll tell you what, it was a great year in jazz. So we're bringing back three former students who will be kind of the featured performers, and they are at the top of their game as young professionals. In fact, one of the artists, a trombone player named Aaron Eckert, he just graduated a couple of years ago, and he's making big strides on the East Coast. And we're also bringing back Josh Marcus, who plays alto sax, and also Tim Stanley, a trumpet player. And these three young guys, they might not be household names, but they are like the top of their game right now in the world of jazz. So we're coming back to kind of toot our own horn about the type of students that. Did you get that? I didn't mean to say that, but that was kind of cute. But kind of just to showcase the talent that has come out of Eastern, and in fact, it's kind of an entire Eastern show because even the judges are all Eastern alums. So it's Sam Fagley, the coordinator of the Jazz Festival, has worked very hard, and it's hard to believe this is a 60th anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's next Friday and next Saturday. I know Mac White, our programmer, was talking about he's got tickets to the showcase part of that. Yeah,
yeah, that's on Friday, February 8th is that kickoff concert, and the festival itself is on Saturday, February 9th.
The tickets still available for that?
They sure are.
That's good.
They sure are. Some of the other things that are coming up, at the end of February, we have Step Africa. It's a dance presentation out of Washington, D.C., and that is sponsored in part of African American Heritage Month here on the university, and so that's going to be a very lively show.
Have they been here before? It seems like something similar to that, or not?
I think they haven't been at the Doudna, but they might have been brought in by the university board probably maybe 10, 15 years ago,
okay.
you know. But that's a great, exciting night of dance, and you're going to see everything from traditional African dances to even hip-hop dances to dances that I don't know, you know, but they're, in fact, the promotional material, and I got to speak to the executive director of this group back at the Arts Midwest Conference in Indianapolis last August, and he got me excited. You know, I knew we already had them booked, but you know, he was very excited to bring this show to Eastern's campus.
And when is that again?
That is going to be February 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you think about booking acts, and it seems like to me, I was just, as I listen to different radio and different things, it seems that some of these acts are booking so far out now. Is that a trend in the industry? So you have to kind of be even further ahead of the game to try to get some people in? We are right now booking the 1920 season. Okay. We're not late. You know, this is the time that a lot of agents, I get a lot of telephone calls from agents on a daily basis. In fact, I don't have a secretary, which you know. If you normally when you call me, I pick up the phone, but now I have to put my call forward on because I am getting contacts by agents. You know, I would say seriously, not exaggerating, anywhere from 10 to 15 a day, and that's not including the emails. But you know, we're looking at a few things next year that I'm really excited about. But you know, we usually work about a year in advance of what's happening. Okay, that's not too bad. And we go to a conference, like I said, Arts Midwest, which is a consortium of presenters that are through the Midwest, of course, as it says, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, and so we kind of come together. Then there's about a 4-day period of we get to see from 6 p.m. till about 1 o'clock in the morning in about 10 different venues. We see a 20-minute showcase. It's continuous. In fact, most of the time when I've gone by myself. And this last year I took Dennis Malik, our productions guy, with me, and he was a great service because he could go in one direction and I'd go in another, and then we could say, hey, we'd meet in the middle someplace and kind of say, hey, I just saw this and we need to really check this out because we think this would go great at the Doudna. And it never can have another pair of eyes out there to watch, and then you can compare notes, and plus keep it variety so you're not sticking to one format or one genre. From a student point, Annalisa, as you think about Doudna and as you kind of gear up to eventually graduate, and what kind of things go through your mind here when you think of Doudna?
Well, I've always thought, okay, when I was a freshman, the Russian ballet came to the Doudna, and of course, being so young, I couldn't believe that we were able to get these performers or performances rather to come to a place like Eastern. I always thought that Eastern was in the middle of nowhere, and of course when I got here, that it's far from the truth. It's a compliment to the institution here on campus, and the Doudna to see all these great performers come. I'll tell you, that was one of those unique things because under normal circumstances, Doudna would not have the opportunity to present someone like the Russian National Ballet, which was it was a fantastic show. Absolutely. But I will tell you how that kind of comes about, that kind of thing, is because a lot of performers, their agents work very hard to kind of present them in a variety of different places. The great thing about Eastern Illinois University, and this sounds a little hokey, but I would say that we are in the middle of nowhere, but we're on the way to everywhere. I like that. Yeah. Absolutely. We are, we're very conveniently located on this thoroughfare of Interstate 70 that runs just south of us about 18 miles, and then Interstate 57, which is basically a north-south. Right. Yeah, and so we
when I talk with people, when I talk with agents, a lot of times they say, well, we're going to be in Louisville or we're going to be in Des Moines. And then a lot of times things have landed in our laps, and in fact, and other times people have kind of, we've signed up the group first, and then the agent, they will kind of build a tour around those performers. So,
well, it really is a crossroads if you think about it.
Yeah, the triangle of Indiana, St. Louis, Chicago.
Absolutely.
And then if you even really think it's not too far from Paducah and Nashville down south, so there's a lot of different ways acts can get.
It's just fascinating to think that we're able to get all these great performances, and students definitely should feel cultured at least, being able to attend these events.
And when you speak of the national, like the Russian National Ballet, and I'm going to say this for Step Africa, is this that that is a seat that is going to cost $25 to see. Now, if you were to look on Step Africa's website and find out how much they're paying, or how much people are paying for tickets a couple of nights before they come to Charleston and a couple nights after, it looks like there's a fire sale going on. That's just our ticket price. I had a couple of students who've come and said, I don't go because I really want it to be free. Well, me too, a lot of times, but that's just not the reality of the world. But I try to encourage students to say that you will never see some of the performers at the rate in which you will see them at Doudna. And even I had a really nice email over the weekend from someone who saw Farewell Angelina, and they were kind of blown away about it. And I mean, that's a nice thing to say, but I'd also like to communicate to the residents in East Central Illinois that please come to Doudna. We always, we've been open for a little over 10 years, and we still have people that come in and say, after their first visit, it's like, oh, I didn't expect this. This is, we have two superb, state-of-the-art venues, the Dvorak Concert Hall and our theater, and they are just great places to see live performance. And that's the thing, it's live performance, it's nothing canned, and I think it's just a great opportunity that we offer the people of this part of the state. I'm
going to go offshoot here a little bit. What you just said, it was kind of, I was listening to a channel the other day, and they were talking about how people are paying major dollars for major acts in major cities, and sometimes it's taped music. Somebody's lip syncing over their hits, for lack of a better way to say it. That would never happen at Doudna?
No, well, no, not like in our performers. We don't want that. I guess as a college, the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, with the music department and the theater department, we are stressing live performance. That is one of the greatest things. Now, we have had actors, musicians come in, and they'll kind of, like an agent will say, well, we can pare down the show and we can bring canned music for it, which is thanks but no thanks. We would like the whole banana. We'd like everybody. You
don't want the backing tracks and all that stuff.
Right. And sometimes shows, that's all they have, and we understand that. But when we have the opportunity, I'm looking at a group right now that is it's a cross between theater and it's live music. There's a lot going on, and we want the entire enchilada.
There you go.
So we really want everybody to have an experience, of what it takes for a performance. So
continue on with this. Oh, sorry.
No, well, I was just going to say, so what do you think students don't know or don't understand about the Doudna?
I sometimes think, and when I was growing up back in the dark ages, Annalise, there was probably a handful of radio stations. There was no such thing as online radio stations. So here's the point, is that the younger generation, they have such diverse interest, okay, and they like a lot of things, and they can go, if they want to listen to a hip hop station, or if they want to listen to bluegrass, they can go on the air and they can just listen to that. The thing I want to try to emphasize to students, so all you students listening out there, take this as Grandpa Dan talking to you, by saying, you need, as you know, you're getting your education, you really need to expand your awareness. You know, you might not like classical music, but to see it live is an experience in itself.
Absolutely.
And in fact, I have one in my own house that had never, you know, he could care less about classical music, and I brought him to a performance, and then it was fun watching him discover it. And then all of a sudden, now he's not an aficionado of classical music, but he does appreciate it, because when you hear 60 musicians on stage perform at one time, and the sound that it you know, so to kind of enhance your education experience, come to the Doudna, see a performance. You know, people say, I don't want to go see theater. Well, I'll tell you what. You're doing yourself an injustice if you don't take advantage of this, because you're never going to be able to experience live performance, whether it's classical music or it's jazz music or whatever, or live theater at the cost and
convenience
Absolutely.
and to be so up close and personal to it. I think you have seen performances inside our black box theater, and that's up close and personal, and it's an experience.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Other stuff this semester at the Doudna, we're talking to Dan Cruz from the Fine Arts Center.
We have a young lady coming in by the name of Kate Tombaugh, and she has a program called It Just Takes One. It's something that she wrote herself, and she is, it's kind of like her own personal story of how she is trying to expand her career, and that's going to be something presented on our Black Box Theater. So it is, again, it's theater, and it's her story, and about a young woman's kind of journey into her life and getting her career started, which I think a lot of our students probably could relate to.
I agree, exactly.
We are going to dip into classical here in March with a group called the OK Factor. I saw this group perform at Arts Midwest probably about 2 or 3 years ago, and they blew me away. It's a cellist and a violinist, and they kind of give a new spin on the classical genre. So you might be surprised. You might hear some Guns N' Roses kind of classical. Yeah, you know.
That's happening a lot now.
Absolutely.
With music. I mean, it's funny. It got made fun of early, and now it's accepted.
It's that crossover, you know, and it's getting the attention of some people, and it's also introducing some young people to music. Maybe, you know,
that's what I think the best part of it is.
While you're introducing a classical version of some kind of pop tune, you're also kind of letting them know about some of the classical performers and composers from years past. And then we wrap up the year April 4th with a group called the Hunts. Now, I have known about the Hunts. They're from West Virginia. They are you remember that TV show, The Duggars? You know, they're all one family. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is the Hunts. They're all, mom and dad were in the group for a long time until they got so many kids that all the kids are in the band.
Really?
It's 2 twin girls, and they're 5 brothers. And they are another group that is disgustingly talented. And they are, they probably, if you could imagine, a little bit like Mumford and Sons, but they're kind of a newer roots,
American folk, country slash.
Yeah, it's hard to.
A little bit of pop.
It's a group that you might have a hard time classifying and putting them on a radio station because. But here's what I tell people: we do have the at our fingertips YouTube. Look up the Hunts on YouTube and look at their one cut of them performing the song Hallelujah in Central Park. And that should sell a couple of tickets. You know? So they're going to kind of, it's a cross between a little bit of rockin', but that's going to be in the...
When is that one again?
That is April 4th. So we're going to end our premiere season early. We usually have our last premiere show on Celebration Weekend, but this one it worked out that it's going to be early in April.
And this is a weird semester at Eastern. It's really ending sooner than later. I mean, right? The May 3rd is final or graduation.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm a little bit going against university policy because Celebration will be the weekend before we start finals.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that's kind of a slap on the hand to Dan Cruz and company, because we aren't supposed to have anything before finals, but if we back up the week that Celebration would normally take place in, that's Easter, and that's not a good idea.
Right.
You know,
so you're kind of caught the rock at a hard place this year.
And this happens to us about every 6 to 7 years.
Okay. Do college students have any input into like acts that you would maybe think about, or is there any outside input? I know besides going to the festival and what's the other input of how Doudna picks?
Here is what we do, and yes, the short answer to that is yes, and we encourage student involvement. If there's a student out there that says, hey, I'm aware of this band, and I would like to bring them to, I want to know that information. So I encourage students to get in touch with me. But we do have an advisory committee made up of university personnel, people from the community, business people, and also we have some students who kind of voice their opinions. In fact, one of the things, this is not part of this committee, but we had a lot of our promotional materials out on a table one time, and Dennis Malik, as I had said, our productions guy, he has a pretty good staff of students, and they were in that room, and we said, hey, why don't you look over here and let us know what you think is something you'd like to see.
Yeah.
And they did, and in fact, we're looking at 2 of the acts for next year and it came directly from students saying, "I would like to see that," because here I am.
I'm going to interrupt. I'm going to guess at bigger universities that wouldn't even be a possibility. Another kind of cool thing about EIU.
Yeah, well, I that's one of the things that my boss, and also I think that President Glassman wants us to see is, get student involvement. And I asked that question a couple of years ago at a symposium at Arts Midwest for other people who have the same job that I do across Illinois, and they have the same problems, that a lot of students don't come to things, and it's unfortunate. And some of that is because students are very busy, and then some students can't afford it, and our student ticket is anywhere between $5 and $7. So we try to keep it very reasonable for them. But the thing is that I'm always interested in getting more students at the Doudna, and so I want to make sure that students know that this center is theirs. It's not mine; it's theirs.
Anything on your mind over there?
Oh, no, I was just going to bring up the student experience, and how to get students more involved. And I feel like the students don't really know that option is available.
Well, I think it's one of the things that we try to have Dan on, and maybe the newspaper could do some features when the shows are a big show are coming, to try to get more interest going. And it's not just for students. Obviously, anybody in the community in East Central Illinois can come to the Doudna, but obviously one of the things that I think Eastern's been trying to do is get more student involvement with activities on campus.
I'm trying to figure out what is that hot button to let people know, because I do get this not only from students but also from the community. I didn't know about it, And we don't have an unlimited advertising budget, and I know we have worked with you guys very well. Try to work closely with you guys to kind of get the word out. And you're wondering, what is it that gets students' attention? And I don't know if there's a quick, easy answer to that, but there's a variety of choices that we have to promote. And one of the things is we do so many direct advertising. We do a thing through Campaign Monitor where we send like a university, or an online email newsletter type thing to let people know what's going on. And I'm just wondering, okay, what do you use, and when do you use it, and how do you use it? And if anyone has a secret to that,
I think if you had the secret, you could become a millionaire.
I could be very extremely wealthy. Yeah.
If they're not noticing the posters on the side of Doudna, then maybe there's no hope.
We're hoping that we can expand this next year to have those long banners that we have on the east side of the building, on the west side, so that those students who are walking through the quad will see that as well.
Have you ever thought about doing more stuff in the summer, or anything like events or stuff, or is that just one of those that just doesn't work out?
Well, we've done that, and it's right now it's been cost. It's been preventing us from doing that, but we would love to have a couple of summer shows.
You ever had an act just cancel for some really strange reason? And I'm not trying to put anything down. I just want to know what the strange reason was. You don't have to mention the act, but has anybody just canceled because something silly happened?
I probably not a Doudna act. I had a celebration act one time, a group. We had signed the papers for the contract, and I think the agent or the manager didn't communicate with the band, and I called, and they said, well, yeah, they should be there. And I said, well, they're not. Can you check in? He says, oh, they got the wrong date. You know what I mean? Which is, so I don't know whose fault that would be, but the opposite of that is we had a tremendous snowstorm several years ago. I mean, it was horrible. And a group came to town, and they still perform to an audience of about 15, and that was Impact, the group that we had this year. They were, this was about, I don't know, 6 years ago, and they still performed. They said, "Hey, we're here, we're ready," you know, which that was cool. But
also an easier way to get their check if they perform.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
But you know, for the most part, everyone, we've never had anything really goofy, you know.
That's good.
Now, I know it's Fine Arts Center, but have you ever? Would comedians ever be something that you would allow?
Yeah, we had.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember any, but maybe.
Yeah, we had one a number of years ago. The programming, it was the gosh, I just went blank on his mind, but he was the host of Cash Cab. He was in, and he did a stand-up, and he was great, you know, except the timing was bad because I figured that would be a big college hit, but it was Rush, and so all the, you know, and it was like all the students who were rushing and things. It was like, you know. So
we have a couple minutes left here. Speaking of Celebration,
yes.
Celebration is late this semester, but again, talk about what, maybe just tease it a little bit. We'll probably have you back before then, but just a little tease of Celebration 2019.
Dennis and I walked around. We're thinking about shaking Celebration up a little bit this year, changing it around just a tad. We've got the food vendors are under new management, which I'm looking forward to that. That it's April 26th, 27th, 28th, and April 26th is more of a student day. We're looking for groups to perform on the outdoor stage. So if there's any local performers who would like to perform on the Celebration stage, I would encourage you to give me a call. Telephone number is 217-581-8513. Again, it is 217-581-8513, and we can talk about it. But it's going to be here before you know it. This is, you know, our second year back after having a couple year hiatus. So it's really the kickoff of spring here in East Central Illinois.
Very good. Couple minutes left. We'll do rapid fire questions. Are you ready over there, Annalise?
I think so.
All right. The favorite musical act of all time that you saw in person? So.
Here at the Doudna?
Anywhere. This is just any time.
Right now, it'll probably be away from Eastern, probably Roger Waters of Pink Floyd. Yeah. And then probably on campus, probably Junior Wells out of Chicago.
Okay.
Away from Eastern would have to be Van Halen because David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
Was there as well.
You headbanger, you. Yeah.
And then on campus would be Voodoo Daddy.
Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Artists that you would pay to see right now. There's somebody out there right now that you'd pay to see, that you'd go to Chicago, Indy, St. Louis, wherever to go see.
Bruce Springsteen.
Santana.
Oh, can I go with you?
Yeah, absolutely. He's in Vegas.
First album you bought? Notice I said album for Dan.
For $3.33, S&J Stereo to buy Deep Purple's Machine Head.
Oh, look at you. Look at you.
Yeah.
I do remember that I collect albums. So the first one that I bought with my own money was Led Zeppelin 4.
Wow, okay.
Last movie you went to?
The Peter Jackson documentary on taking the World War I black and white footage. And do you know about this?
Yes.
I've heard of it,
yeah. It was. It's a kind of an awkward name. It's somebody those we no longer remember. Or we should not forget, or something like this. But it was blown away, and I can't wait for that. You know, it wasn't general release.
There you go.
But as soon as that becomes available, I want to purchase that baby.
Nice.
Real quick.
Bumblebee, the new Bumblebee movie.
Dan, time always flies when you're here. We'll have you back for Celebration. Have a great day, my friend.
Thanks, Jeff.
This is Mix 88.9 WEIU, Year 13, WEIU TV, and all the above. Have a great day, everybody.